this week's energy seems to be interesting, and from my guidance is going to be a prerequisite to all the way until March 2028 with these nodes shifting signs. So watch the video for more information on that. Just a reminder that this is meant to be a mundane reading and not at all a personal sun sign or all signs kind of a forecast, so please keep that in mind when watching this video. With that being said, let me pull up the chart here and let's get started with this week. So we're going to start off here on Sunday, July 26th, 2026. And of course, on this day, we've actually got several things going on here. So we're going to start off with the first big one. We're going to have Saturn, which will go retrograde. Okay, it's not yet showing here in this chart, but it will happen 1:29 p.m. Central, Sunday, July 26th. Okay, so let me just kind of get a tune in here to start with the Saturn retrograde. It feels like aspects of control, but okay. Okay, this is bringing up this is bringing up how we have been restricted and controlled and restricted of our own independence. Okay, this is a reminder that this is a mundane reading. So what I'm doing here is we're basing this like politically, economically, that kind of a thing. What I get a sense of with this is what they're saying is that this is basically like on a countrywide, okay, actually a global level. They're saying a global level, how we have been restricted and controlled through our own independence as countries, nations, populations, etc. Through this retrograde, there will be realizations of this. Okay, this isn't just going to start on this day. Saturn will be retrograde for, let's see, event navigator, direction changes, retrograde July 26th. Okay, we'll go direct December 10th. So we've got a long while here of Saturn retrograde. And this stuff is going to continue to come up throughout this point. Okay, now it feels like there could be, and I'm gonna get into this more around shocking things because that energy is going to be here too for the next while with the nodal shift. But I feel like this is going to, a lot of it is going to be shocking. A lot of people are going to be surprised at, they're not going to like who's right. Okay? People aren't going to like who's right. Even though it's going to be true. And in terms of how, because we've been so manipulated and controlled, and whatever is going to come up, it's going to stir up a lot of stuff. It's going to stir up a lot of emotions, a lot of like, I sense a very internalized focus, or even I don't know what you would call it, that feeling of you don't like someone, but you know that they're right, and so you don't have a choice but to acknowledge it. That's kind of what that energy, what this feels like to me. And it's kind of like reconciling with that in some way, dealing with that, like I don't know how else to put it, but they're saying largely this is really just coming up with these aspects of how we have been controlled as a population, society, etc. We're going to see more and more of that come out, how we've been restricted, and restricted in our own independence, in our own sovereignty, in our own individuality, because of this manipulation and control, is ultimately what I'm getting with this that is coming through here. Okay, they're saying to move on here, so I'm going to shift. We're going to shift to the the nodes here. So again, it doesn't show yet, but the north node is going to shift into Aquarius, and then the south node is going to shift into Leo. Of course, this doesn't happen until later, and of course the times are a bit different on each app that I use. They're roughly the same, they're within a few minutes. But let's just see here. So 6:47 p.m. July 26th, North Node will ingress into Aquarius. So, and I have the chart here set in the morning, so that's why you don't see it yet. Again, what I get with this is like, the word that I got was awakenings. Almost like heading into the chaos, heading into craziness, but the thing is that it's good craziness. With the South Node in Leo, it feels like old things are shown into the spotlight, and through that they get released, but it moves us into a place of chaos, of this awakening, of this awareness, because we're like, holy shit. And it leaves, and the other word that I'm getting is it leads to liberation. Okay, this Aquarius, this ideal of humanitarianism, uniqueness, individuality, like liberating, free, like that, it leads us to, as a collective, leads us to that. This, whatever is being brought into the spotlight, these old things that are being brought into the spotlight, and then we're having like a holy shit moment. And then that's like, oh my God. That leads to this awakening, this chaos, but ultimate liberation that comes through. Again, I'm being drawn to say that's not like maybe exactly going to happen specifically on this day. Like the nodes are going to be here for a while, okay? We can get the exact date for people. So it will ingress into Capricorn March 26, 2028. So we've got it from basically end of July 2026. It's the end of the month, so I'm thinking, is it really July? No, it's basically July, August 2026 until March of 2028, where we're going to have the nodes in Aquarius and Leo. Okay? I get the sense this is going to bring up a lot of stuff. It's going to bring up a lot of stuff, and we've got to be able to deal with these things. They're saying, yeah, that's basically the gist of it. You can move on now. So we're also going to, oh my goodness, we're also going to have Mars here in sesqui-square to Pluto Retrograde. This is action being taken on awareness, things that we've been made aware of and that have been brought up. Pluto Retrograde from the past, these old things. We're seeing it for what it is. It could be shocking, it could be revealing, it could be whatever. But it's ultimately for transformation, progress, freedom, liberation, moving forward. It's kind of all the things that I've already said. But with sesqui-squares, this energy is really pushing for this resolution to these things to be able to really move forward. Okay? So, but it seems like there's action being taken on awareness that has been made either through communication or through whatever, in whatever way, some kind of awareness that has been made in that sense. We're also going to have the sun here moving in conjunction to Jupiter, but is in opposition to Juno retrograde as well, that will peak on this day. There is a highlighting part here of relationships. These relationships don't feel very positive. So I feel like these were like partnerships or relationships that were colluding in nefarious or negative ways, like against the population, against, I almost want to say against the world, oddly enough, but that's what it feels like. And of course, with the sun in Leo, we're moving into conjunction to Jupiter with Juno on top of Pluto. We're seeing these collusions, partnerships, whatever these are that are coming to the light that did not have our best interests at heart. And who is in cahoots with who to, I don't know why I want to say it, to attempt to irreparably cause harm to humanity. But it's not irreparably. But that was, okay, I'm getting it that was their intent. Whatever these partnerships were, and this retrograde is bringing this up. Being on top of Pluto is bringing this up. The sun in Leo shining a spotlight on this, conjunct Jupiter, bringing this up. This energy is conducive to these things. I'm not saying this specifically because the planet, okay, well, it's not even the planets. This is driven more of, astrology is really driven more, by the natural cyclical energies of the universe. And the planets are affected by it. We are affected by it. And because of where we are in our solar system, etc., we get affected in certain ways. I'm not going to go deep into this. If you want to know more, go to my website, mysticalmark.ca, and click What is Astrology. I dive into a bit of it there. There's more to it, which I will eventually get out there, but just not right now. But with this, so the point that I think they're trying to make is it's not the planets that are causing this. This is how this energy is being used. Okay, the universe is infinitely creative, and depending on where you are, what is going on, what circumstances you're in, there's creativity involved to allow certain things to happen in certain ways, and that's what we're talking about here. So with this, that's how this energy is being used in bringing these things to the spotlight, to the awareness that these things have happened, that this has occurred, that, who was in cahoots with whom to do these kinds of things in these nefarious ways. Okay, they're just saying to move on now. From that, we're also going to have Venus in sesqui-square to Juno retrograde. This feels like the same thing. We're dealing with these people, these partnerships, these whatever this is. And this is this is like the whoever's dogs that were out there doing the dirty work. With this Venus energy, doing the practical stuff to get shit done. It's like they were working for these nefarious people in these partnerships and colluding and whatever to basically do the dirty work to get the shit done, and they stabbed humanity in the back. They did whatever they could for money or for deals or for whatever it was. It's almost like whatever you see in the movies, how people do stupid shit and they side with the wrong person, and it's like that. That's what seriously, I don't like, that's what's coming through here. I don't know what else to tell you. Again, it's how this energy is being used in this way. How this will affect you personally, how this energy could affect you in your personal life could be completely different. Okay, just be mindful of that. But that's what I'm getting with this. They're saying, okay, just move on now. We're going to move on to Monday the 27th here. Now, this is when we're going to have Sun moving closer into this conjunction to Jupiter in an exact opposition to Pluto retrograde. And they're wanting me to bring up the Sun will also be an exact trine to Neptune retrograde. They're saying that these play a role to... Okay, I'm seeing everything now. They're bringing up... We talked about the Venus thing. Well, Venus is also going to be in sesqui-square to Pluto now as well, along with Juno. And the Sun is also going to be in sextile to Uranus. This is all playing a role together. Okay, so all together. Okay, so they're wanting me to kind of Neptune relating to what has been hidden, etc. Especially, well, there's support with this Aries energy to bring it to light, with this masculine energy that is bringing these things to light. There's also with the sun moving into conjunction to Jupiter in opposition to Pluto retrograde. Okay, so bringing things to light, Pluto is playing a role in this as well with this opposition to, this is very, I wanted to say heavy energy, but because it's bringing up a lot of stuff and transformation, and just, it's like really digging deep down to see the root of things, of what was really there, of what's like, but it's a lot of this negative shit that we need to be aware of that has been happened to us, that has been like put upon us, or I can't find the right words for this. The Venus and sesqui-square to Pluto is what I talked about on the previous day with Venus sesqui-square to Juno. These are like the dirty dogs that have done the dirty work in a practical way. The Sun sextile Uranus. Maybe shocking communication, awareness. Like, this is all, okay, let's get to the bigger, they're wanting me to just point out the basic functions and then the bigger message. What is the bigger message? We're going to be seeing a lot of stuff that's going to be kind of brought maybe into the spotlight. Awareness is being made of things, whether this is through governments, through just the collective in general being more aware. I don't know, but there's something here with they're saying a collective awareness as well of how we've been treated negatively, how these things have happened, like all this stuff. It's like it's being shown to you now, it's being made more aware. It's like you can't hide, it can't be hidden anymore. Anybody that's doing like negative or bad work or anything like that, it cannot be hidden anymore. Those people are fucked. Those people that have done the nefarious things, they're fucked, and rightfully so, because they shouldn't have done that in the first place. But that's just what, like, okay, I just want to, is there any more to this message? Okay, they're saying no. Is there anything more that you want me to say regarding this? They're saying this is for your own benefit and for your highest good that this occur. It is for your own awareness to know what has occurred. But okay, in order for they're bringing me back to the Pluto here as well. In order for healing or this transformation to occur, you need to be aware of these things that have happened to you, the negative things that have happened to you. Things will be brought to light, etc., etc., etc. It's like you can't continue to move forward or move on into a new space until you've dealt with the problem directly, until you've understood how to heal the trauma. You need to understand the trauma in order to understand how to heal the trauma. Okay, because if you can't get to the root of the problem or the root of the trauma, you're not going to be able to fix it or heal it or even stop it from happening again, because you need to understand it. As hard as that is for some people to face, to agree with, or to understand, that has to occur in order for healing to fully occur and proper transformation to fully occur, which is why the energies that are conducive to this, it's not why it's conducive to this at this time, but why the energies that are conducive to this are being used to bring it up at this time, okay? Because it's time. Well, it has been time for a very long time, is what they're saying and what I'm getting. But it is, it's very much needed right now, the awareness of these things. They're saying, okay, you can just move on now. So we're going to move on to Tuesday the 28th. One thing today, the Sun in semi-square to Venus. This is the same thing of what I said about those dirty dogs, those dirty people doing the dirty work. They're the ones on the ground doing the work. The Sun, like, here, still moving into conjunction to Jupiter in this semi-square to Venus. The Sun in Leo here, Jupiter inflating this larger spotlight, highlighting these things. And these people, these dogs that have been doing the dirty work. The practical things practical nefarious things. I don't know what else to say about that. Okay, they're saying to just move on. Let's go to Wednesday the 29th, where we're going to have the Sun conjunct Jupiter, along with this full moon in Aquarius. Literally with the moon 2 degrees away from conjunction to Pluto. 3 degrees away from conjunction to Juno, retrograde. All this stuff that I've already talked about. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Not to mention, we're heading into to eclipse season. Because new moon in Leo is going to be an eclipse. So we're heading into more intense energies. We just left fucking Mercury retrograde. Still in post-shadow. Now we have all of these other things going on. And now we're heading into eclipses. This what I feel is almost like fucking nuts. Like this, but what they're saying is, again, they're saying yes, but it is for your highest good. It is for your highest good that this occurs. It is for your highest good. Okay, the full moon. They're saying it relates to everything. It's like, okay, hold on. There's more to this. They're saying, well, there's some stuff that we've talked about previously in this video that is more longer term, such as the nodes, Saturn retrograde, which is playing a role in everything else I've already previously talked about, despite there's no aspects to it, okay, but it's still a background energy that's sitting there kind of highlighting this stuff. Okay, so those are more the longer term ones, and then the shorter term is the other aspects that I talked about, like let's say this semi-square to Venus, these oppositions to Pluto, whatever, etc. The shorter term stuff in terms of maybe what was been brought up now, or what we're trying to be made aware of now, or the start to that. It's almost like a start to this release, to this whatever, is now what is kind of being brought up. It feels like this full moon is maybe some kind of it's not necessarily, they're saying usually full moons are about release. This is like with this, it's like it's more like a trigger point towards more of what will occur in those long-term aspects, those long-term energies, and how they will be used to kind of reveal some things. There could be big things that occur around this time frame because the energies are here, they're intense, etc. And depending on what they're going to be used for, how this is going to be used, right? We don't fully know or understand that yet. And they're not going to tell me everything either because we need to experience them. Okay? They're not going to say everything. Not at all. We came here, incarnated here for this physical experience and to learn and grow through this stuff. If they just said it, we wouldn't learn and grow or learn from our mistakes or do all of that. We have to have the experience. We have to do it. You can't just be told and then, oh, it's done. No. You have to do it. It's like, I don't know. I get this analogy of almost like dealing with children. It's like you can't, okay, they're saying it's like, let's say with math, you can't just tell them the answer. Children, students, whatever, if you're doing homework with your kids or they're in school, you can't just tell them the answer. You have to get them to do the work for themselves to get to the answer. They have to learn how to do that to get to the answer. Like, yeah, some things, but they're even saying, so what I was thinking of like, well, 1 + 1 is 2. You kind of tell them that. But at the same time, it's like, no, you're actually teaching them how they got to that. It's like you have one hand plus another hand is 2 hands. Okay, you're physically, visually showing them that 1 and 1 is 2. That's proof that 1 and 1 is 2. Okay? And you can visually do the work 1, 1 is 2. Okay, or 1, 1 is 2, right? Where you can physically see that. Okay, and what they're trying to say is that you have to put in the work, you have to have that experience for your own realization that 1 and 1 is 2. Okay, 1 and 1 is 2. Okay, if you don't have that experience and you're just told it, well, yeah, sure, you're told it. And sometimes you do just need to be told the answer. But there are times in which it's better to have the experience in knowing how to get there, because that's how you learn and grow, is through having that experience. So they're not going to tell us everything. We can see what the energies are there as, but how they're creatively going to be used specific, and they're going to say certain things in certain ways. They're giving me stuff, okay? We're basically getting a weather forecast. However, we're not going to fully understand it until we experience it. Okay, that is the thing, and we're not going to fully be able to learn or grow or whatever until we experience it. Okay, that is part of this message or whatever that they're trying to get through. And and they're saying, well, let's get back to the full moon now. They're saying this is one of many things, one of many points that will occur in this way, in these long-term energies that we have discussed with North Node in Aquarius, South Node in Leo, Saturn retrograde, etc. Okay, those long-term energies are going to continue what this starts. Okay, in terms of the Sun conjunct Jupiter in opposition to Pluto, this full moon in Aquarius, they're saying even if nothing happens on this day, the energy of this day as this trigger point is signifying these energies and what will be happening going forward within especially specifically this nodal transit. Okay? But that we're revealing and seeing things coming to light, revealing transformation and progress moving forward through understanding, through everything that I've already just talked about in this video. There's no need for me to repeat it. But that's just that. They're saying, okay, just move on from the full moon here. That's enough of that. So we're also going to have Venus in square to Mars. This almost feels like there's action being taken towards those dirty dogs that have done dirty tricks, done the dirty work for the dirty people and doing their dirty tricks. That's what, through the awareness, through the communication of it, action is now being taken against them in some way. That's what I get with that. We're also going to have the Sun in semi-square to Mars. They're saying this is like dealing with the same thing, in that the Sun is illuminating this stuff, and then semi-square to Mars, based on this illumination, that awareness, that communication, action then gets taken. Venus is also in semi-square to Jupiter here as well, in Leo. So this is bringing, again, shining the spotlight on these things, on these people, on these dirty dogs, these dirty tricks. Sun is conjunction to Sun conjunct Jupiter. Again, a big spotlight. It just seems this is more of an overarching energy. There's nothing specific to this, is what I get. But it's going to highlight a lot of smaller things in this overarching energy. And like they said, this is the trigger point towards more stuff that will be coming out. So don't just think it just has to happen on this day, because it's not. There's also going to be Mars in semi-square to Jupiter. Okay, and with the Sun semi-square Mars. Okay, I've basically already talked about this, taking action on what has been illuminated in that way. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, let's move on to Thursday, July 30th. The only thing here is going to be the Saturn now retrograde in quintile to Juno retrograde. There's nothing that they can do. Those partnerships, it feels like those partners... Okay, so with this quintile, there's behind the scenes, positive behind the scenes forces and energies, etc., that have kind of ended these partnerships in whatever way that they are. There's nothing that they can do anymore regarding the dirty deeds that they've done, regarding whatever. It's almost like this has already been taken care of, and now we're just beginning to see it in a lot of ways. There's still maybe some dirty things that are happening, of course, but a lot of it has been taken care of, and now we're just beginning to see it. Okay, they're saying to just move on, so that's what I'm going to do. Let's move on to Friday the 31st here, and we've got nothing major happening, so let's move on right into Saturday, August 1st. We're going to have Mercury here in semi-square to Uranus. This is affecting us all. What I get a sense of this is hitting home, as in it's hitting home within our own hearts, our own selves, etc. The communication, it's hitting us emotionally. Communication, awareness, maybe shocking things, etc. We're being hit emotionally in a lot of ways with whatever is coming up in this time frame, through awareness, through the chaos. There may be anger, there may be all kinds of other things, and that's being made aware of as well. Yeah, I'm not going to go on any more with that. We're also going to have Venus in biquintile to Chiron. Again, this is dealing with these dirty dogs and how they've screwed with our money, our resources. They've caused a wound to our resources, money, etc. Whether this is taxpayer money, even charging us taxes in the first place. Don't get me started on that. And just a whole lot of other things. It's basically how they caused the material wound to money, etc. They used what wasn't theirs in order to deceive the ones whose money it was. This feels like a very internalized focus, though, on a realization of this by the people. Venus is also going to be in square to Black Moon Lilith. What I get a sense with this is the entire world was outcasted by these people that wanted to do these dirty deeds. These dirty dogs doing dirty deeds. I don't know what it is about this week, this energy, whatever is going on here, but the word that I'm actually getting is a prerequisite. So if this is the prerequisite for what's going to come, especially with this nodal, with what I'm getting a sense of with this North Node in Aquarius, South Node in Leo, I mean, I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but of what I'm saying and what I'm sensing and what I'm getting is a prerequisite. We're kind of in for a wild time, aren't we? And again, I'm just being reminded it's for your highest good. because you deserve to know the truth. But it comes through the experience of knowing and understanding it, and not just simply being told by some dude on the internet doing an astrology video. But yeah, this Venus square into Black Moon Lilith is like the world has been outcast. We've all been outcasted as a collective, as a humanity, because they didn't give a fuck about us. And they were doing practical dirty things to try to keep it that way. Okay. Well, that's it for this week. If you made it this far in the video, please leave a purple heart in the comments so that I know you're a real one. Thank you all for watching. If you do want a personal reading with me or want this personalized in any way for you, all those links are in the description below, or you can head on over to mysticalmark.ca. I thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all in next week's video. Take care, everyone. Bye.